It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
And we're going to make this the greatest presidency that we've seen, not only in generations, but maybe ever.
World and only being a politician for a short period of time. A president! If we're taking people out of the country, you wouldn't believe how bad these people. These aren't people. These are animals. Build that wall. 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 Build that wall.
The person only thinks about building walls wherever they may be located and not building bridges is not a Christian. I say only that this man is not a Christian if he has said things like that.
I'm going to have to scare the Pope because that's the other thing. There's only one. Look, the Pope, I hope, can only be scared by God.
Replace us! Replace us!
Largest tax cut in the history of our country, and reform, but tax cut.
We thank you for that.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you on behalf of all Alaskans and the American people because it's the right policy, and we're finally doing it. Thank you, sir.
You're living up to everything I thought you would.
Guatemala.
¿Qué va a pasar con su consulado?
Papá. Papá. Ay, con mi tía por lo menos porque bueno.
And when you prosecute the parents for coming in illegally, which should happen, you have to take the children away. I don't like our president. He destroyed my career. I only destroyed a career because they said bad things about me.
But that's it. That's why we held up the money. Now, there was a report.
So the demand for an investigation into the Democrats was part of the reason that
It was
ordered to withhold funding to Ukraine.
The look back to what happened in 2016 certainly was part of the thing that he was worried about in corruption with that nation. And that is absolutely appropriate. Yeah, which ultimately then flowed. By the way, there was a report that we were worried that the money wouldn't, if we didn't pay out the money, it would be illegal. It would be unlawful. That is one of those things that has that little shred of truth in it that makes it look a lot worse than it really is. We were concerned about over at OMB about an impoundment. And I know I just put half you folks to bed, but there's the Budget Control Act, Budget Control Impoundment Act of 1974 says if Congress appropriates money, you have to spend it. And we knew that money either had to go out the door by the end of September, or we had to have a really, really good reason not to do it. And that was the legality of the issue.
Let's be clear, what you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation into the Democratic server happens as well.
We do that all the time.
President Trump solicited foreign interference in our democratic elections, abusing the power of his office to seek help from abroad to improve his re-election prospects at home. And when he was caught, he used the powers of that office to obstruct the investigation into his own misconduct. To implement this corrupt scheme, President Trump pressured the president of Ukraine to publicly announce investigations into 2 discredited allegations that would benefit President Trump's 2020 presidential campaign. When the Ukrainian president did not immediately assent, President Trump withheld 2 official acts to induce the Ukrainian leader to comply: a head of state meeting in the Oval Office and military funding. Both were of great consequence to Ukraine and to our national interest and security, but one looms largest. President Trump withheld hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to a strategic partner at war with Russia to secure foreign help with his reelection. In other words, to cheat.
Of it, and certainly I spoke to my people. It's a witch hunt, it's a sham, it's a hoax. Nothing was done wrong. Zero was done wrong. I think it's a horrible thing to be using the tool of impeachment.
I put my faith in the optimism of the founders. You should too. They gave us the tools to do the job, a remedy as powerful as the evil it was meant to constrain: impeachment. They meant it to be used rarely, but they put it in the Constitution for a reason. For a man who would sell out his country for a political favor. For a man who would threaten the integrity of our elections. For a man who would invite foreign interference in our affairs. For a man who would undermine our national security and that of our allies. For a man like Donald J. Trump. They gave you a remedy, and they meant for you to use it. They gave you an oath, and they meant for you to observe it. We have proven Donald Trump guilty. Now do impartial justice and convict him.
Ernst. Ms. Ernst, not guilty. Mr. Graham. Mr. Graham, not guilty. Mr. McConnell. Mr. McConnell, not guilty. Ms. McSally. Ms. McSally, not guilty. Ms. Murkowski. Ms. Murkowski, not guilty. Mr. Romney. Mr. Romney, guilty.
The great question the Constitution tasks senators to answer is whether the president committed an act so extreme and egregious that it rises to the level of a high crime and misdemeanor. Yes, he did. The president asked a foreign government to investigate his political rival. The president withheld vital military funds from that government to press it to do so. The president delayed funds for an American ally at war with Russian invaders. The president's purpose was personal and political. Accordingly, the president is guilty of an appalling abuse of public trust. What he did was not perfect. No, it was a flagrant assault on our electoral rights, our national security, and our fundamental values. Corrupting an election to keep oneself in office is perhaps the most abusive and destructive violation of one's oath of office that I can imagine.
Now you may be asking, how much damage can he really do in the next several months until the election? A lot. A lot of damage.